Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction and Audiofiction. This is the series Romeo and his Marinette, and this is part 9. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. All the other parts are listed down below in the description. Make sure you check those out. Massive shout out to Kim for the use of her beautiful stunning artwork in the thumbnail. So all her information is down below. Go and send her some love. Send me some love by smashing that like button. Comment down below what you think of it and what will happen next in part 10, the final part of this series, which will be coming out soon. And make sure you subscribe, because if you've got to part 9, what are you waiting for? So I hope you enjoy. Part 9. Adrien's POV. Cat jumped back through his bathroom window. "Claws in," he muttered, whilst listing off what he needed to get done before heading back out the door again. First things first, informed Natalie that he needed to leave early this morning because of a project, hoping this wasn't the moment when she would start asking extra questions. When he was ready to tell his father about his relationship with Marinette, he would, just not yet. Not that he cared what that man thought. He controlled every other aspect of his life. He wasn't going to let his father decide who he should love. Marinette was the one, and he would fight anyone to be with her. After he got confirmed message back, followed by a notification in his schedule for a change of time for school, Adrien jumped into the shower, washing away the nerves popping in his stomach, and instead focused on the growing list of things he could do for Marinette to make sure things went smoothly today, plus the addition of extra treats and gifts she might enjoy, or wondering if it would be better to go to the movies or get some ice cream after school, or maybe both. They can discuss it at lunch and come up with a plan with his girlfriend for the first official date. His stomach was no longer popping. Instead, it had reached full-blown boiling point. He was excited and nervous all at the same time, which was silly really, since they had hung out countless times as Kat or as Adrien, especially over the past week, faced heartbreak only to come back stronger. So what on earth was he so nervous about? Then he realized his date was out in the open. He couldn't wait to let people know. His friends, his father. But what if she? No, he was just being foolish. She loved him, both sides of him. She saw him for who he truly was, not what he only wanted the world to see. Only confirming it more in his heart as he held her in his arms in the early hours, knowing he loved her to the stars and back again. No, this sensation had to be more about being excited than nervous. Yeah, that was it. He quickly placed on a pair of jeans along with a warm jumper. The air this morning still had a hint of frost as he had watched his breath dance across the dawn. He had convinced his bodyguard, who Nino had nicknamed Gorilla, to drop him off at the bakery instead of the school, with the extra promise of some treats thrown into the mix. Adrien stood outside the door, his throat sticking together as he tried to swallow. The last time he had seen her parents, she had refused to see him. What if they thought he had caused her that pain? Well, he had to face them sooner or later. Rip it off now. Brace yourself. "Morning, Mrs. Duban-Chang," Adrien said, plastering his model smile over his lips as he greeted Sabrine, who was standing in front of the counter, her warm smile not wavering for a moment. "Adrien, didn't we ask you to call us Sabine and Tom over the dinner table?" "Yes, but after yesterday, which I'm really sorry." "My dear, why are you saying sorry? Marinette told us everything. How you were just trying to be there for her after that girl had put her through yet again." Sabrine tutted her head, straightening a pile of business cards on the counter next to the till. "I am glad the two of you were able to sort everything out, supporting her. I care a lot about your daughter, Mrs. Sabine. She means the world to me, and I promise she won't be alone today. I will be there for her," Adrien said, his cheeks blushing at the soft smile on Sabim's face that reminded him a little of Marinette's. "I know she cares about you too, Adrien." He was happy to hear the tangled footsteps of Marinette propelling herself down the stairs. "Mom, I am... Oh, Adrien. Hi." She paused in the doorway, a rosy blush spread across her cheeks, tucking her fallen fringe behind her ear, but she had kept her hair down for once, dangling over her shoulders. A memory of her face this morning as they had woken up together, the warmth of her arms wrapped around him. He had never felt so safe, so at home. No, shake the thoughts off, Adrien. Not now. Not in front. "Hi, Marinette. You look..." His eyes caught Sabim's for a moment before darting back to his girl as the rest of the sentence tumbled out of his mouth. "Beautiful." "You too. I mean, handsome, that is. Oh." She played with the edge of a pleated skirt, straightening out the creases, and then tugged down the pink lace knit jumper that gave the impression of cozy hugs. She took a step closer to him. Her hand seemed as restless as his, not sure to entwine his with hers in front of Sabim. "Have you had breakfast? Would you like a pastry?" "Thank you, I'm fine. But could I get some for my bodyguard outside?" He was half a meter away from her. In 2 strides he could easily close the gap. Why was this so awkward after only seeing her an hour ago? Marinette grabbed a box from the side and started to fill it with a vast selection of pastries. "Will this be enough? I can add more." Adrien chuckled at the box, which was starting to bow at the bottom of it. "No, that is great. How much..." "Adrien, you are family to us. They don't pay." Sabim interjected and pushed back his hand, holding the euro notes. "Oh, thanks. That's really kind." Adrien found himself staring at the box in Marinette's outstretched hand. "Thank you," he muttered, taking the box as if it had a bomb inside instead of cakes. "You two had better be going. Don't want to be late now." Sabim's voice cut through the fog that had been forming in his mind. "Thanks, Mom. I'll be back later. We have plans?" She glanced at him from the corner of her eye as if still confirming. "After school, but I won't be late." "Thanks, Sabim," Adrien said, moving towards the door. He needed to feel the cool breeze against his hot cheeks. What was wrong with him? Why did this feel strange? But a good strange. "Well, have fun, you two. And Adrien, you're welcome." The doorbell rang out to a customer entering the shop, shifting a smile to the man pointing at the pain au chocolat. Adrien dropped off the box of treats to his bodyguard, who shot him a wide-eyed look of thanks back, and nodded his head when Adrien informed him he and Marinette would be walking the rest of the way to school. Now it was just the 2 of them again. Adrien could feel his heart beat slow slightly as his hand wrapped around his girl's, her warmth seeping into him. That was until they reached the spot on the pavement before ascending the school steps, and Marinette froze. "Is everything okay, Princess? I'm here. I won't let go." He squeezed her hand a little, expecting her to return the gesture, but she didn't. "That is, unless you've changed your mind. You don't want to tell people yet. I mean, I don't think our school friends have noticed yet, so we could..." "No, of course I do. I want to show everyone what you mean to me, that..." She cast her gaze downwards and felt her hand tremble in his. He turned his entire body round and faced her, wrapping his free arm around her waist, pulling her closer. "It's just you and me here. It's like earlier. But I get it. If you're not ready, we can..." He made to shuffle back a little, but stopped when her hand reached out and played with the collar of his jacket, her fingertips brushing lightly across the skin at his neck. Her hand clung on tighter to his tweed and closed the gap between them. She glanced at his lips as she rose on her tippy toes so that hers were closer to his. She tasted of coconut and chocolate, his heart skipping in his chest as they pulled one another in closer, a hand moving from his collar to the back of his head, tunneling through his hair, not caring if she messed it up before school. The kiss was tender at first. They spoke through touch, confirming how much he loved her, swapping his heart with hers, filling each micro atom of his body with no doubt that she felt the same about him. But at the sound of her name being yelled, followed by his own, brought their beautiful embrace to a sudden stop as she paused, her nose brushing against his as she rolled her now pink lips between her teeth, catching his eyes. The bellowing of her name for the second time, after which came Alia's name called out by his best mate Nino, caused both of their cheeks to blush. "Marinette! Adrien! Explain! What is all this?" Alia landed next to them, slightly out of breath. "Morning, Alia." He felt the void of her touch as her hand slid from his neck and fiddled with the loose thread on her bag instead. "Don't morning Alia me, Marinette. Explain! How am I seeing yous two kissing, hugging in front of the school steps first thing in the morning? Since when has this," she gestured at the pair, "been official?" Darting her hand at the couple. "How have you not told me?" "Hey guys, Alia, not cool." Nino readjusted the headphones around his neck after the few-meter dash and shot Adrien a questioning look. He watched Marinette open and close her mouth, eyes wide at her friends. "Well, it's..." He could tell the nerves had come back, not sure how to respond. "For a few days," Adrien added in, sensing the relief course through her and into him whilst he spoke for the two of them. "And yes, it's official. Marinette is my girlfriend. We are together." His gaze landing on his princess, who gave the cutest smile at his words and nodded her own confirmation, placing her hand across his chest. "But how? Why? From doing the play?" One thing he did love about their best friend was how Alia cut through the formality and spoke her mind. A sly smile filtered across Marinette's lips and gave a one-shoulder shrug at her best friend, but squeezing his hand that much tighter. "Well, yeah, but before it too?" Her voice failing to remain composed at the confession. "So what? You and Sunshine Boy here are official? For days? Since when do you keep secrets? You're an open book, bestie. I mean, why couldn't you tell us?" Alia said, inhaling sharply. "Congrats, dude. I'm pleased for you both, even if it took Shakespeare and tragedy for you to finally tell her." Nino chuckled, stopping immediately as more friends gathered around them, muttering to each other. That was until he heard the voice from the last person they really wanted to see, drifting their way through the gathering crowd, sensing his princess tightening her grip around his hand as he pulled her closer to him, his protective cat's eyes showing. "What is all this? What is happening right now?" The crowd parted and revealed Chloe strutting towards them, flicking back her ponytail and raised an eyebrow as she took them both in, and their joined hands. Chloe took out her phone and began skimming her thumb across the tiny keyboard. "Adrien, what is all this? You know it's not fair to be teasing Marinette this way, making her believe that all your acting was real. I mean, Marinette will think that she is Juliet and you, my Adrien, her Romeo." A cold laugh seeped out of her snarled lips. "I mean, have you not read the ending of the play yet, Marinette? Did you not get the message? How it all ends in tragedy?" "That's enough, Chloe." Adrien wrapped a protective arm around Marinette. "Why don't you spread your poison somewhere else?" Alia flicked out her hand towards Chloe in a dismissive manner. "You have no idea what you are talking about, Chloe. Marinette is my amazing girlfriend, who I adore. Adrien pulled her in that much closer and kissed the top of her head gently, feeling her gain the strength from the gesture as she straightened up. Marinette narrowed her eyes, her voice calm, in control but venomous. Just because you are alone, unable to find someone to care for, does not mean you get to treat others like you do. Push them around until they do your bidding? You don't know me, nor Adrien, nor our relationship. You get no say on the matter. She was buzzing, and he couldn't be any prouder of her. How dare you, married trash? Talking to me like that? Like you were my equal. Chloe spat, glancing at Fabrina for backup. I'm warning you, Chloe. We may have been friends once, but not after what I heard what you did to Marinette. What you have continued to do, trying to intimidate her, corner her, and that includes you too, Lila. He shot a warning look as she approached, standing behind Chloe. As if I need to do anything. She sniggered. We will see how long this lasts. She lowered her voice as she stepped closer. Especially when your father finds out. Not good for the brand and all that. Her smile caused his inner cat growl to vibrate in his chest as Plagg hissed in his pocket. That has nothing to do with you, Adrien said through gritted teeth. So why don't you go and find some drama elsewhere? Alia said in a dismissive tone, placing a hand on Marinette's shoulder, and leave my best friends alone. For good. Oh, there will be plenty of drama when we get to see your little performance in the next couple of days. Chloe laughed. Adrien felt a hand on his shoulder. Maybe you should focus on your own acting abilities, given past performances, and stay out of things that really don't concern you, said Nino, in a tone of voice Adrien hadn't heard before, except when he was being protective over Alia. Chloe? Lila? Why don't you use your energy in a more positive way? Then you two might find someone, added in Rose before placing a hand on Ali's shoulder along with Julika. Chloe scowled at the pair. You are ridiculous. I don't care what you pathetic people think. Lila focused in on Marinette, taking a step closer. Look at her, standing there, making you all fight her battle, not able to do it herself, believing she is all innocent, forgetting what she did to me. I can fight my own battles, Lila. Marinette snapped back, exposing her wrath, reminding Adrien of Ladybug's anger, one you really didn't want to get onto the wrong side of. What? Like you did yesterday? Carrying in the stalls, crying like a baby? The three of them laughed. Adrien could hear his friends' angry voices surround them as the fire inside Marinette flickered, but his was burning brighter than it ever had. I'm warning all three of you, right here, right now, in front of everyone. You threaten my girlfriend? My best friend, added in Alia. Our friends, added in others. I will make sure everyone knows your true nature. I am Adrien Agress, after all. And Lila, no more lies from you. The industry will know exactly who you are, and your so-called career will be over. Not that you'll be part of the Agress brand anymore. Not after this stunt of yours. Adrien gestured to the camera, snapping pictures to his side, picturing the headlines now. We are all pleased for Marinette and Adrien that they have finally confessed their feelings, said Alex, standing behind them both. At long last, Kim laughed, nudging Nino's shoulder. 100% confirmed. Max nodded next to Kim. Soon everyone had moved to form a line and gathered around Marinette and Adrien, leaving the three to stand alone. He could see the heart of a hurricane form in her ocean eyes, darkening as her emotions crashed in huge waves, pounding against her resistance to remain strong. For years, you have made me think I was alone, Chloe, believing your horrid lies and allowing you this power over me. Not anymore. I see it all now. You belittle people because that is all you know. Power through hate. But you know what? I'm not alone. I choose love, friendship, which is so much more powerful. She scanned across her friends who were staring at the three in disgust. I think your reign is over, Chloe. Marinette smiled, leaning against Adrien as he folded his arms around her. The final bell rang out. Pathetic! All of you utterly ridiculous! Chloe declared. No one was listening as they darted up the steps towards class. Chloe huffed, snapping her fingers at Sabrina to follow, and stormed off. Soon it was a 4 against Lila. She stared at them with a bitterness that carved ice through your veins. You have no idea. Standing there, all proud, like you won. But the outcome of this battle does not win the war. She sneered. You have no idea what I am capable of and why. And I have much bigger allies than Chloe. In time, you will see. Marinette stepped forward and placed a hand out front. Lila, just leave, will you? We don't care about your empty threats. Yeah, Lila, Nino added with a proud chuckle and a nudge to Adrien's back. Lila narrowed her eyes, muttered something under her breath he couldn't work out, and then stormed off towards class. Wow, girl, that was amazing. Adrien grinned, tugging her hand closer to him whilst he rubbed his entwined fingers around hers. Yeah, it was. I can't believe I did that. But it felt good, you know? Marinette let out the breath she'd been holding and found he did the same. I can. I'm glad you finally showed her the fierce side of you, but I think we need to have a girly catch-up at some point. Touch base? Alia raised her eyebrows at Marinette, but her smile was wide and proud. Yeah, we really do, but not this afternoon. I have a date. She shuffled back into Adrien's outstretched arm with a blush that ran to her ears and down her neck. He couldn't help leaning in and kissing her lightly, feeling the heat soak into his lips. Girl, I just can't. Used to? Well, you can give me some of the deets in class. Well, I was hoping, could we swap today? Adrien looked at Nino and then to Alia, knowing he was pleading with his big cat eyes. Yeah, sure, dude. Speaking of class, we had better. Nino held his hand out for Alia, but shot him a quick grin, knowing they would have to have a bro, tell me all moment too. Yeah, we are right behind you. I just need... Marinette sighed into Adrien's chest. We've got you covered. Plus, I'm sure everyone will be buzzing about what happened. Alia smirked. Thanks, guys. We won't be long. Adrien wrapped his arm tighter around his princess, stroking a hand up and down her back, releasing all the built-up tension, and felt a wet patch form silently on his t-shirt, soaking into his chest and heart beneath. They were alone once again, her hands gripping onto his shirt and around his back, and pressed her forehead harder against him. He breathed for her, chest rising as one, holding it, and then released. Well, that hadn't been part of the plan today. He breathed onto her neck. She let out a light laugh, Lifting her head, he could see that the storm was clearing in her ocean eyes, the sun breaking through the dark clouds, washing them in a golden light. Thank you. I don't think I could have done that if you hadn't been there. I love you. He cupped her cheek in his hand, smudging away the tear stains with the cuff of his jumper. I love you, and I knew you could do it. He leaned closer, his lips hovering above hers. My princess, you are strong, brave, and you need to give yourself more credit. See yourself like I do. This amazing, adorable, sweet. She didn't allow him to finish, tasting the coconut once more on her lips. Definitely sweet. Thank you for listening to part 9 of Romeo and his Marinette. I hope you enjoyed it. The next one is part 10, which will be the final part of this series, and has lasted a lot longer than I thought it would have, but I hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you smash the like button down below. Send me some love and support this channel, and it really does help with the algorithm. Comment down below what you think of it and what will happen next, and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on the next final part of this series and other one-shots and other series and other treats to come. Oh, there's so much happening. Okay, and I hope you are good, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.